EU frozen by own policy, Spain, Italy, Portugal and Greece could be forced out of euro. The EU appears to be frozen by its own monetary policy, leaving Spain, Italy, Portugal and Greece at risk of being forced out of the euro. President of the campaign group Generation Frexit, Charles-Henri Gallois, described the ECB as being stuck, saying that the slightest signal for a change in monetary policy to fight against inflation will cause the borrowing rates of southern EU countries to rise sharply. He added, "The debt will become unsustainable and these countries will be forced out of the euro." This comes as Christine Lagarde, president of the European Central Bank, refused to rule out raising interest rates this year. This came in response to the bank's unanimous concern about soaring prices. She said that inflation risks were tilted to the upside after the Consumer Price Index (CPI) measure of inflation rose by a record 5.1% across the Eurozone in January. In a marked change from earlier comments which saw Ms. Lagarde play down the chances of interest rate rises in 2022, she said the ECB was getting much closer to hitting its inflation target. This has sparked fears that borrowing costs will rise significantly throughout 2022. In the fourth quarter of 2020, Greece had a national debt amounting to 205.6% of GDP, while Italy's national debt was 155.8% of GDP. Portugal had the third highest debt of the bloc, at 133.6% of GDP, while Spain had a national debt of 120%. All of these figures are well above the EU's debt threshold of 60% of GDP. Ms. Lagarde said there was a consensus among ECB policymakers to keep interest rates unchanged. But an insider told the Financial Times that one or two of the ECB's members had called for an immediate tightening of policy. Any tightening of monetary policy would cause the cost of borrowing to rise, which could make it difficult for these countries to repay their high levels of debt. There were previously fears that Greece might be forced out of the euro as a result of spiraling debt in 2018 during European debt crisis. The crisis began in 2009 when Greece's budget deficit exceeded 15% of its GDP.